Welcome to Octane Mobile Gaming. Welcome once again to the channel. This is Octane, and today we take a look at the new deck that is out for the next Slay event. The deck is a Noble Killer, but first let me say sorry for not making a video last week. I was suffering from COVID, so wasn't in the best place at the time, so I couldn't make a video on last week's event, but I'm feeling a bit better this week, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take a look at the deck. So this one is your ultimate form, which is Seabound Wayfarers, and it's an interesting ultimate form, but not really that powerful from my personal perspective. So what it does, it turns all non-earth gems into earth gems. We've seen this over several events where you've got ultimate form and cards which changes off affinity power gems into power gems of its affinity. So it's a trend that is building up, I think, to something that is coming. We saw that last week. Yes, I did say that last week, where we had the rainbow effect, and the ultimate form was able to change all the rainbow gems into dark power gems. So we know that this effect means that we're gonna get decks that actually creates probably off affinity gems or rainbow gems. The next thing this battle skill does, after a gem crush, it creates 7 earth power gem 6s. Then it will increase Earth Slay attack by 35% for 1 turn, and for the duration, Swine Soldiers deal 50% instead of 30% of the main attack damage. It's got 3 turn cooldown, 9 gem charge rate, And this is what it's on about when it says Swine Soldiers. So the first passive is called Soldiers to Swine, and once per turn, if you gem crush, it creates so 1 Swine Soldier for 2 turn. So this is just like that Earth deck that we had before, where it says Beaker attack for 50% of the main attack. It's almost the same thing as a bonus attack buff, but just with a reduced damage output. So Swine Soldiers, whenever this hero attacks, each Swine Soldier attack alongside for 30% of the main attack damage and creates 4 Earth Power Gem 7s. So this is where you're going to get a Power Gem 7s, 4 Earth Power Gem 7s, and this only happens passively when you attack. It's got Last Stand, and Last Stand once per battle, instead of dying, it will survive and begin healing for 8000% of hero's recovery each turn for the rest of the battle. So this is a lasting heal effect that goes on for the duration of the battle as long as Last Stand has been activated, and this stacks with Ordinary Revive. This one dispels Thorns and Toxin, which is quite useful. I find these two counter skill quite useful because Thorns can be a menace and so can Toxin. Toxin affect any card that does a heal, and Thorns is a buff for the boss, so you need to get rid of that buff because it does affect your health. So that is your ultimate form. Not really that powerful, interesting, but not powerful. Your Master Collection card, ODYSSEY, the Cunning, will turn all non-Earth gems into Earth gems, and after Gem Crush it will create 7 Earth Power Gem 6s. It's got Last Stand as well, and it dispels Toxin. Quite straightforward, quite simple, not very powerful, but it's a quite straightforward deck. Now your ultra rare Island Enchantress will increase Earthslayer's attack by 35% for 1 turn. For the duration, Swine Soldiers deal 50% instead of 30%. So Swine Soldiers will deal 50% as long as you activate the battle scale of the ultimate form or the ultra rare. And it's got Soldiers to Swine, and it's got Swine Soldiers as well. This one dispels Might. Might is not too much of a bad buff. It's a buff for the bosses. So let's take a look first at the support card for this week. Now the support card, it creates Earth gems every other turn passively. So it creates 12 Earth gems every other turn. So every other turn it creates 12 Earth gems, but with its battle skill it heals for 10,000% of your recovery for each Swine Soldiers in the battle, and heals for 2,000% more. So basically it will give you 12,000% heal, but if you've got 2 or more Swine Soldiers on the board, each Swine Soldiers will give you 10,000%. So if you've got, say, 2 Swine Soldiers on the board, you will get 32,000% heal, which is quite a bit of heal. But if you get hit with Toxin, this will be neutralized. So that is your support card for this week. Now I really like the main hero for this week. I think the main hero is quite nice, especially for those of you who are new to the game or you're competing in the lower leagues, say the Paladin leagues or lower leagues down. This is a quite nice card to have. It's the main hero and it fills the board with Earth gems. Then after a Gem Crush, which you will get a Gem Crush because the entire board has just been filled with gems, so those will crush, giving you 7 Power Gem 4s, and after the Gem Crush it will then create 5 Earth Power Gem 4s. So this card can create 12 Earth Power Gem 4s, which to me is quite nice. It's quite useful. Not useful for people in the Emperor Leagues, Kings League or Legend League, but lower down this card will be really useful. Will aid those people in the lower league to actually be able to feel the deck that can create power gems rather than a main hero that doesn't really do much. I think this is a quite decent main hero. I like it. So let's take a look at cards that we could use in this week's event. So there's quite a variety of useful cards and quite a number of ways you could actually create your deck. Now this is one of the decks that I think could be used. Not sure if it's gonna be quite powerful yet, but I do know that Odd One Gorillas is one of the most useful utility cards that we've got. It's quite old, it's over 2 years old, but it still is worth its salt. This one, I've got the 4 pink star. It's awoken 5 times, does do quite a bit of damage, and it's really useful. For those of you who have never seen it before, this card creates 2 Earth Power Gem 4s, 3 Earth Power Gem 2s, and receive the attack bonus buff. Now the attack bonus buff on this one is affected by the number of keys that you use. It's one of the only 2 cards that is affected by the number of keys that you use. The next one is a dark one, which is Freedom Fighters, and what this one will do if you use 3 keys, the bonus attack buff is not just 100% of the main attack, it's that 100% of the main attack times 5, so it deals a massive bang for your book. It's got 2 turn cooldown, which is quite nice, and I think it's quite useful. Now, Keepers of History is the one that's going to upgrade your power gems on the board. It creates 8 Earth Power Gem 7s, and it increases Slayer's attack by 100% for 3 turns. When ambushing, it upgrades all Earth Power Gems to 2 rank higher and makes twice the gems. It's got a 3 turn cooldown, 9 gem charge rate. This is a one-time offer because once you've used your ambush, you won't get that effect again. You won't be able to upgrade your power gems again. And this is the ultra rare from the same deck, and it does pretty much the same thing. The next card up, which gives you a one-shot offer as well, is Protectors of Prosperity. It increases Earthslayer's attack by 200% for 2 turns, and it creates 5 Earth Power Gem 6s. When ambushing, it increases Earthslayer attack by 2000%. So this is where you're going to get that massive bang for your buck from. Odd One Gorilla is going to be your main damage dealer. Reaping Royalty is one of the 2 cards, one of the 2 ultimate form that I've got that I can use to get the killer skill. Reaping Royalty, it cleanses 1 enemy debuff from every Earthslayer on the team, and it dispels 1 enemy buff. So once per turn, when an enemy buff or debuff is successfully removed or prevented, it creates 6 Earth Power Gem 5s and increases self attack by 80% for 3 turns. It also creates 4 Earth Power Gem 4s at the start of each turn. This one dispels armor, which won't be very useful this event. So other useful cards that we have got. This is another useful card. The Jailers. You can use Jailers to boost the attack output of Arcane Killer, and we all know that this card is an Arcane Killer, Odd One Gorilla, and because it's an Earth event, you can use the Jailers quite easily. However, the Jailers has got a 6 turn cooldown, but I think it's a card that is worthwhile using, because while Keepers of History has just got a one-time offer to upgrade your power gems to 2 rank higher, and Protectors of Prosperity is only got a one shot, it's a one-time deal unless you die and revive, of giving you that 2000% increase to your damage output every 6 turn. The Jailers is able to give you, with its passive, 1200% attack increase to your Arcane Killer card, which is Odd One Gorilla. So you could combine Odd One Gorillas with, say, the Jailers. You could use another card that does a turn delay on board. There's another card that does a turn delay, which is quite useful as well. It is a noble card. It's a noble commander, and I think it's called Defiant Duet. So Defiant Duet is another card. This one, Defiant Duet, is the card that you could combine with the jailers, but you want to activate this card's battle skill before you activate the jailers, because what it does, it creates 4 Earth Power Gem 4s and 3 Earth Power Gem 2s and add the swarm buff for 1 turn. Then delay an enemy attack by 1 turn. While active, Swine buff creates 2 Earth Power Gem 4s each time a skill that increases the enemy turn count is used. This one's got a 5 turn cooldown, 1 less than the jailers, but they work quite well together, and it does give you extra power gems on the board. That is something that you could use as a noble killer. It's not gonna boost your Slayer cards, it's gonna boost itself, and it will boost the jailers as well. It will pass its killer skill onto the jailers, but those two are not going to be your main damage dealer. They're a supporting card. They're in a supporting role. The card that you're looking to boost is Hard-Won Gorillas. So all the cards on this combination are in a supporting role. Hard-Won Gorillas is the card that they're supporting. So nowadays we have got a lot of utility cards, and we call it those utility cards simply because we've got one card that all those utility cards come together to make that card your main damage dealer. And these are the cards that you awaken and you power up. These are the cards that you try to get up to like 6 pink star. Never try to get cards that are supporting cards up to 6 pink star. Let's look at one that is a main damage dealer. Now, main damage dealer is Brothers in Banditry. This is a main damage dealer. Now, when it comes to Earth Commander, this is the card that you would want to get up to 6 pink star. This is the card that you want to awaken 5 times, and this is the card that you want to boost up to maximum. All the other cards within your Earth Commander sphere, you want to keep them at, if you get them at 2 pink star, 3 pink star, fine, but you don't want to spend a lot to get those ones up to 6 pink star, because they're not going to be your main damage dealer. They're going to play a supporting role to Brothers in Banditry, and it's almost the same with Hard-Won Gorillas. Most of these cards are playing a supporting role to Hard-Won Gorillas because it's gonna be your best damage dealer, and you've got this in a lot of your decks. Fire decks, you've probably got 1 or 2 cards that's your main damage dealers. Whenever you've got a fire commander or a fire slayer event, though, that card is going to be one of the cards that you're going to put on your deck because it's going to be your main damage dealer. Those are the cards that you want to awaken, power up as far as possible, and get up to 6 pink stars. So those are the ones that you invest time and effort in. Okay, so other useful cards. So let's see some other useful cards that we have actually got. I haven't got all the cards, but I have got quite a few. So Verdant Druid is not going to be a card that's going to be very useful. We have already looked at Protectors of Prosperity. Flourishing Fairies is okay. Yes, it can use as a main damage dealer if you're coming from the arcane perspective, where you're going to use the jailers to boost the damage output of arcane killer cards, but it's not going to do as much damage as the Hard-Won Gorillas. It does upgrade power gems, but is it as useful? I would say not. This one, Arboreal Overseers can be used in a supporting role. It does create 9 Earth Power Gem 6s, and it increases Earth Slayer's attack by 30% for 3 turns. It does give your deck quite a bit of damage resistance, so your deck will take a lot less damage, but for me, I'm more interested in my damage output. But it is a card that you could use to create power gems. Reaping Royalty is one of the 2 cards, as I mentioned, that you can get your killer skill from. We've looked at Keep of History. Furious Goblin is not really that useful nowadays. Neither is Unquiet Ones. Intrepid Voyagers, I wouldn't say it is really that useful. It creates 4 Earth Power Gem 5s and create an additional 4 Earth Power Gem 5s on the next turn as well, and it maps the surrounding. That for me is not quite useful. But when it comes to a Earth Slayer, Chaotic Killer, then that would be the card that will give you your 900% killer skill. Unbreakable Sisterhood, that card is outdated, but we have got another Noble Killer in our deck which can give you the killer skill. Where is it? Here it is. United Taurus. United Taurus is okay, it's not brilliant. It's the oldest of the two ultimate forms that I've got. It destroys all non-earth gems on and create 4 earth power gem 4s plus 1 additional earth power gem 4 for every 5 earth gems on the board. It cleanses all debuff and heals for 250% self recovery per gem destroyed. It's got a free turn cooldown. Passive recoil. If the enemy casts a debuff, it creates 1 earth power gem 4s. This can trigger once per turn. And this one gives you the ultimate gem, which is not very useful, but every little helps. So that's another ultimate form that you can use to get the killer skill. However, this one is the oldest of the two. So this one is one we used to get your 400% for 1 pink star, your 600% for 2 pink star, and so on and so forth. So this one will give you 400% damage increase for Noble Killer cards as long as the Noble Killer enemy is active. It's better to have the killer skill than not have the killer skill. It does really help. So that will be quite useful as well. If you haven't got some of the cards that I've got, but you've got like the Master Collection cards or the ultra rare from some of those cards, you could use those cards. One of the ultra rare you could use is this one, Punjari Rashmi, and this is the one that will increase Earth Slayer's attack by 200% for 2 turns. When ambushing, it will increase Earth Slayer's attack by 2000% when ambushing. So this is one of the useful cards that you can use. There's other useful cards as well. I think this this one only creates 8 power gem 7s, which is quite nice. When ambushing, it creates twice the number. So this one will create 16 earth power gem 7s. So that will be a decent power gem spawner. Quite decent. However, this one is going to be the one, as I said, that will increase the power gem level to level up. So that one is quite useful as well. Those are some useful cards that if you've got them, you can use them. So I'm gonna try this deck first and foremost. I didn't get anything from the vault. Went up to the 4th tier of the vault and I got rare relics and main relics, so I was able to craft the ultimate relic but not the ultimate form. But I have got enough coins, and probably around about Saturday when we've got all the retro vaults out, I probably would have had enough coins to craft the ultimate form. But I won't be crafting this ultimate form. I'm saving my coins for next event or the fire event. See what type of deck we get. The decks so far haven't been good. The one last week was interesting but not fun to play. The one before wasn't that good. This one I don't think is quite powerful. Will it be interesting to play? That waits to be seen. Next week hopefully we get something better, or for the fire event we get a brilliant deck. But I don't think the decks that we've had so far are anything brilliant. I'm hoping for a brilliant deck this season. When it came to the event, the last event that just finished, the 5th anniversary, legendary 5th anniversary, I was bitterly disappointed for several reasons. First reason is they didn't really do much for the VIP subscribers. They didn't do much for the community as an whole. I think they could have done much more. Everything was just about sell, and they were selling stuff that were pretty useless. So I'm pretty disappointed with that. Very disappointed with that event. Let's see what happens this week. If they do something better this week, pretty much doubt it, but it is what it is. So that's all I've got for you today. Tomorrow I will be doing possible deck combination So look out for that one. So this is Octane saying, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the information was useful. So until next video, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. And this is Octane saying peace and have a great day. Bye for now.